Hello, class. My name is Aaron Amaro, and my intercultural conflict presentation is on the working rights of Mexican and Latin American immigrants within the United States. The United States is a country built by immigrants. Since the founding of the United States, immigrants have contributed to population growth, and they make up a large portion of our strong labor force and have also diversified American culture. Barack Obama has a famous quote, "My fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants. We were strangers once too." I chose that quote because it illustrates the origins of the United States being built on the backs of immigrants. And we still see that today in even larger numbers. The co-cultures that I will be discussing are Mexican and Latin American immigrants. And we're going to compare those to the U.S.-born citizens in the labor force working side by side with these immigrants. The conflict will be the unfair treatment, discrimination, and exploitation of Latin American and Mexican immigrants within the U.S. labor force. A couple of the key points I'm going to be going over are the immigrant workers' struggles to find work and the dangerous conditions they face. Immigrant workers also have to face institutionalized discrimination from policies within American businesses. And then I'll review some actions that have taken place by immigrant workers to instill and improve upon their worker rights. Immigrants struggle to find work. They must provide proof of citizenship, and they face language barriers, just to name a few. They often must work longer hours for less pay compared to U.S.-born citizens for the same type of work. They are often overlooked for promotions and raises compared to, again, U.S.-born citizens. Due to the obstacles to find work, they must often work dangerous jobs that no one else wants to do. A few examples would be tree trimming, meat processing plants, garbage and landfills. Not only are these dangerous for injuries, but even deaths. A study conducted between 1994 and 1999 revealed more than 4,200 immigrants, workers died across the United States. Hundreds of those cases went uninvestigated and the employers unpunished or even held accountable. And what's even worse is the families of the immigrant workers who passed did not receive any financial compensation after those fatalities because the businesses would take advantage of the immigrant families' ignorance of the working rights, the language barrier, and the family's fear of government officials due to fear of deportation, basically. There are even policies within United States businesses that discriminate against immigrant workers, specifically the English-only policy. Due to the rising numbers of non-English speaking workers, English-only workplace policies have become more common and are on the rise. What this means, workers are forbidden to speak their native language at all times. They must only speak English. And one example, a sad example, is a worker was fired just for greeting a fellow Spanish-speaking colleague with Buenos Dias in the morning. And she got fired for that. There are actions that these Mexican and Latin American immigrant workers can take to improve their rights. There are examples of strikes and marches over the last 20 years that have been pretty effective in showcasing the importance and the impact that immigrant workers as a whole have on the American economy. A famous one is labeled as a day without an immigrant, where from coast to coast, immigrant workers did not report to their shifts, which caused massive disruptions in businesses, schools, and offices around the country. Due to their absence, the impact on daily life in America was definitely felt. Another good example was a Tyson meat packing plant, which is 75% Mexican immigrant workers made up the whole plant. Basically, they went on strike for 6 weeks because they would complain to their union about their supervisors yelling at them, working through pain, and constantly incurring injuries. Again, their union ignored them. The union that was in place was made up predominantly of older white males. So the result of their 6-week strike, basically they democratized that union and had union reform, in which case a Mexican woman who led the strike ultimately became the leader of the union. So in conclusion, Mexican and Latin American immigrants play a vital role to the U.S. economy and labor force. They also contribute to the diverse culture that makes up the United States. U.S. businesses profit off of the exploitation and mistreatment of immigrant workers. U.S. citizens and businesses need to treat the hardworking immigrants with the same respect and dignity as other U.S.-born citizens and workers. People immigrating into the United States come here in search of opportunity and are chasing the American dream, and they have the same rights to success and opportunity as U.S.-born citizens. Thank you.